Waterbury Town Selectboard, May 19th, 2026 meeting to order at 6:30. First item on the agenda is to review and approve the agenda. Are there any changes? I just want to thank Kaya for stepping in here and really appreciate you taking this on.
Thank you, no problem. Anytime.
Hold the applause.
Yeah, wait till afterwards.
I'm sure it'll be
I
awesome.
don't know, Michael, his last name.
What's that?
Michael's last name is not up there. Do I let him in and we tell him to put on his last
You
name?
can ask them.
Ask him to add his last name.
Michael, can you hear us?
Michael, if you're joining the meeting, we're going to ask that you put your first and last name, enter your first and last name on the list so that we can capture attendees to the meeting. Kick them out. I mean, it's posted, it's requested. Only fair to everybody. All right, public comment? Anything that anyone would like to talk about for, if not on the agenda?
Did you approve the agenda? Oh, no, it's me not now. Sorry.
Catch.
You did it on purpose.
Sorry.
It's not you, I just let you run it. I think.
Yeah,
I-
to approve the agenda.
All right, and Roger,
Second.
second, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, public comment. We'll get this down, okay. Not seeing any, we'll, move to approve the previous minutes. Any edits or comments on the previous minutes? Sandy, are you good on the minutes? You need a pen?
Fine, yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the Northfield savings.
Yeah. I love those things.
You want me to leave Michael in?
All right, take a motion to approve the minutes from April 5th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from, May 5th.
Or I said April,
You
sorry.
did.
That's all right, Sandy's on.
I got it.
I'll second.
Oh, long day. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Consent agenda?
You're gonna approve, I have a comment and a suggestion. Reading through here. About the Hillford ones with the music in the alley, it talks about stage blocking other end. They get access, they really can't. And I went to last year's, music in the alley and that stage took up about 80% of it. There was a walkway to the. What would it be to one side of it? But you can't negate that access. If something happens on the other side of the alley, which is where the food and the vendors are, people should be able to get out where that stage is. So Roger, you and I, or you can talk to Ann Decker and that group to make sure there's a walkway by the stage. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I just don't like the language that there's no access.
So it's not, it says stage blocking other end of alley, debating access. That
Access
should
out
be
that.
removed.
Well, I mean, that,
I think this is about, controlling alcohol, leaving the premises. So I think it's, I can, we'll need to work that out.
yeah, that's fine. I think it's a language thing that should be that way, but
Yeah,
can Roger, you or I can work, I know.
I'm happy.
But talk to Ann Decker and make sure there's a
Well, let's
walkway.
not approve it the way it's written, so
Yeah.
what do you want to say?
They have time to, amend this, so why don't we, exempt, this, particular permit from, the consent agenda, please?
This is the 23 Stowe Street one?
Good.
Both of them.
Oh, both
Yeah,
of them.
both of you.
Okay, so the consent agenda without the Hill Ford LLC items.
Yep.
Is what is being proposed to be approved.
And Roger, you'll contact him about.
I'll contact, Aaron Gallo,
Okay,
make sure that that's correct, and, so. that
Okay.
it's Egress, but, there'll be a sign saying no alcohol there at this point.
Right, take a motion,
I'll move to approve the consent agenda, striking the 2 items for Selectboard LLC.
second, is there
I'll second it.
any further discussion? All those in favor say aye,
Aye.
all right,
Evan proposed, who was the second?
Roger. All right, we have gained some time. I just spoke with the school board, tree board and conservation, well, not tree, but, we're gonna do the school board first, then the tree board, and then the conservation in that order. So, can we invite you up? Yes, please. Appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for joining.
Mhm.
I'm Pam Eaton. And we're here for the school board.
So you're out with Waterbury's representatives on the school board.
We're 2 of the 4.
Two.
So Theo Hanna was elected this past March, and then Corey Brackett had to resign, and we appointed Jill. Jill Second. Yeah. I just don't remember the first.
She's new, right?
Yeah.
So when we asked her to come speak to you, she said, not yet. So you're stuck with that. So we have a few things we wanted to update you on. If you have the impression you just wanted to update us to
You know,
what we're doing.
we're really trying to, with this new board, we're trying to put faces with names and boards and learn from each other. And so that's why we really appreciate everyone coming in person. And so there's no rules other than 10 minutes. If you have questions for us, we can ask you. I mean, that's really, it's just an opportunity to have a conversation.
I think that's something that the school board, we've been trying to do as well. One of the highlights we wanted to talk to you guys about was we passed our budget, which was great. But that budgeting process is hard every year. The costs are rising. I'm sure you saw Ron's endless posting, front porch forum about it. He was so good at it that front porch forum was for a while. So we've been trying to communicate, but we've also been trying to communicate with Montpelier to let them know what their experience is. Once we've had all of our legislative reps for the district in to talk to us, to hear from us. We've had candidates for elected office come sit and listen to our board to understand what we're actually going through and what the numbers mean and what the impact of what's happening in Montpelier would be to our school board. Rob, I think, has some numbers and data that go with that, but for instance, some of the pressures pushed onto us are rising healthcare costs that are associated with teachers' contracts, and we can't do school district level. Special education costs that are mandated by the state, can't really fix them, have to take care of them. Transportation costs, building maintenance. For our school district alone, we have over $100 million in deferred maintenance. And not nearly enough. It deserves to come that.
And then the big one that we talked about this year is that almost 73% of the budget includes healthcare, salaries, and benefits. That's 73%. That's either state mandated or under contract from the state. Teachers unions, things like that, right? So, so that's not something that we have any control over. That leaves, less than about 20% of what 27, what's about 24% that we actually have cost control over. The only control we have over that 73% is cutting jobs, right? And over the past 3 years, we've cut over 50 employees just to bring those costs down. So we're asking teachers to do more with less every single year. The contract increases were 5.45%, so that's 1.2 million. While unfunded mandates with special education, that was a 21.4% increase. So over $1 million There's additional mental health care costs that are coming in. Healthcare was only 7.34% this year, which was the least in the last 2 years. Usually they're double-digit numbers. That was only 365,000. I believe healthcare was through the districts. I think at one point they went with the state because the state said that they could save us money on healthcare costs. And it's never been the case.
When we started in December looking at potential budgeting numbers, we were expecting that 12 or 13% increase in healthcare costs. So we were really happy and celebrated that it was only 7%. So like that's the state of where we are. So we're trying to make sure that Montpelier understands what's happening to our district so that we can make changes. So we have other initiatives going on in our school board to try and make changes. I know we have a lot of talk to Collins and the boarding we had with like the building evaluations. They came in and assessed everything. I guess on the right side, we used to have our district office in a office park down in Wakefield. They're moving into Hartwood. Actually, I think that happened this week.
Yeah.
When did that come?
Yeah, so that's supposed to save us about $50,000.
Where are they moving into our open space?
So kind of, but Dr. Mike's office will be right across from the gymnasium and then some other spaces in the piece. So
You guys are getting creative.
we're trying very hard.
Yeah.
So our building planning and use, building use and development plan committee is taking a fresh look at the Truex Collins report to figure out what can we actually do. We have declining enrollment. We have, I think we heard from kindergarten class in Waitsfield, they have one child. They have 10 kids in a kindergarten class. There was one child born in 2024, according to their town report. We just have a declining enrollment, declining in population, and not moving into the district. So trying to take into account all of that with what we actually have, where kids go. There was a first meeting for that reconfigured committee back in March, and the principals from all the schools came and talked to us about thoughts they were having, ideas they had, traffic patterns for where parents go, where people work, how to get registrations and licensing done, because there's different licensing bands for teachers. So teachers with like smaller children have different licensure requirements than teachers for the older kids. So trying to make it so that all kids are licensure requirements be easy, so you don't only have one license for the building, just all the various options and considerations. And then on top of that, the state of our actual school buildings and how they're faring, because as you mentioned, we have over 100 million in deferred fees.
We're anticipating, well, they've already 10.4% increase in the election costs. So that's an additional $280,000.
And then as of right now, we typically this time of year put out a request for oil pricing for next year. But state of the world, we're expecting to put out the request for bid on that. And then
Luckily, we already have the contract, I think, for busing. But we also had to cut a lot of bus routes, so they saved about $320,000. Because of bus driver shortages and because of changing bus routes. People are having to walk significantly farther to get to the bus stops, but that was another way that we're just trying to, yeah.
So can I ask the magic question? What about redistricting, or what's going on in the state? What do you guys think?
So the newest bill is the H955, which is supposed to push on reform to Act 73 because there's so many issues. It's still basically just a debate negotiation with the governor, the rest of the committees.
it feels like there's kind of a game of chicken going on right now, is what it feels like. And like, I'm not gonna sign it unless there's redistricting, but then there's not really good plan for redistricting, and the studies and information are showing that redistricting and consolidating the 5 school districts once was really devastating. And
When you see these maps that are, like, I guess your maps or something, do you see them impacting Waterbury, I guess, I mostly care about Waterbury, but obviously it's the district.
You go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, it's just the way, the district is set up. There's no real good way to combine our district with the next district.
Okay.
The closest would be Stowe. And the concern we have there is if we combine with Stowe, Stowe has higher costs, higher teacher pay. So if we combine our teacher costs, our teacher pay is just gonna increase as well. Right, because if you go into negotiation, it never comes down. It just goes up from their starting.
Is there a, and I mean, I'm asking impossible questions here, and I don't know monopolize them, but I'm just curious. When will this come get resolved? In June, end of June? So, I mean, I know it's like playing chicken, I hear you.
Yeah, I heard,
So Dr. Mike, who represents the Vermont Superintendent
Oh,
Association, he's been on a few of the committees. He actually resigned from one of the committees because they weren't listening to the people who know what's going on. People at the schools,
yeah,
and they were just doing their own thing to try and get the Act 73 done. So he resigned from that position. Still advocating state level and additional committees. I can't have committees to say that now. I'm just doing additional work.
we sent our vice chair of our school board, Cindy Senning, to Montpelier, and she testified in front of the education committee like 3 weeks ago at this point, and what I understand is that they thought the committee members thought her testimony was really insightful and helped them understand where the districts and schools are coming from. Like she was involved in the consolidation of the Duxbury School and from Waterbury School at the time. So they had a lot of questions for her, and I understand that she was like firefighter. So we are trying to make inroads to understand, but to answer your question, no, I feel like this is a never-ending cycle for Vermont. We're trying to figure out the best way to fund public education, and I don't think we've landed it.
Roger?
Is there any consideration for consolidation within our district? So there's been some discussion on closing Basin, Warren, or one of the other schools.
Yeah, that's exactly what our building planning and use. I can't even remember the committee, on the committee, but we're looking at all the options. So we had a presentation, and that's what the various principals came and sat down to meet. There were 10 proposals that were on the table that day, and they talked about the pros and cons. And every single proposal, at least one school was going to get closed down, and there were pros and cons to everything that they did.
And you have to remember that if we do consolidate, right? So the Truex Collins came back and said, if we do absolutely nothing, we'll run in the same position as if we consolidate, because every consolidation piece that we have now requires more kids coming from another school to a smaller school. So there's, no matter how we close it,
That was
there's
looking
gonna
at the
be
building costs,
additions.
not street.
Yes, so that was, yes, so she's right, that doesn't look at everything, and that's what we're trying to continue to look at, is where are the other cost savings by consolidation. The H955 is asking for consolidation locally as a better option, just because they know it's gonna take more time. We've already done it, district's already done it, we're already continuing to look at it. So regardless of Act 73, regardless of anything that comes out, last year we decided that we're gonna continue with looking at all of the options for Truex Collins and consolidation.
Okay, we're gonna wrap this up too.
Yeah, just some information for you. As I was principal up at Brookside, which at that time Statue Brook for 13 years, and principal at another school 3 years before that. And I will say, as a principal, we would do the budget every December and every year. So this isn't new. We would wait for the health insurance costs to see what the percentage would be. And it was all the time, 8, 9, 10, 12, if it went under 10. So do the math. If every year it's going up 8, 9, 10 for 26 years, you can figure out what the increase in health costs. This country needs to do something about healthcare across the board. It's just a huge issue. It's destroying the state, trying to get, well, and so on, and there's nothing you can do about it. So anyway, if you get into a discussion.
And that's what it feels like the governor's trying pin this on education, but it's not in education.
This has been going on.
There's other underlying issues.
That's the real problem. Anyway, I'm just saying, this isn't a new thing.
I don't know if that makes me feel better.
I know. I wasn't trying to get.
Any questions for us, because otherwise we're gonna wrap this up.
I think that at some point, if there's anything we ever need or wanna talk about, is there a way we could ask to come back? I know there's times on.
The public outreach committee were communication with us ahead of time of
Okay,
town meeting day.
yep.
There used to be things like that, and it kind of feels like we've gotten away from that.
So, for town meeting day, with respect to town meeting day, touch base with Rebecca Ellis, who's doing a study for town meeting day. I think it would be helpful for her to know that you guys are expressing this interest. You should be on the repeat comeback.
I said that too. Yeah.
Okay, good. So you have that, and you can call this email and say we would like, more time than 10 minutes to come back, okay? We just need to know ahead of time.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, thank you.
thank you very much. Sue. You're on.
Why is it on? I know this guy.
It was like, wow.
Exhausted.
Thank you for coming.
And each time I come back, I have more information.
Well, then we
To
just
see if
gotta
I
have
can answer some of your questions,
keep coming.
and maybe I have a little bit of information. A good question we asked the last time we was here. I do pay attention.
Write that note down.
Yeah,
What did I ask?
just to sort of bring us to where we are today. I've been on the board for like 6 or 7 years. When I first came on, thanks to Steve Lotch speech, Jack Carter, Dane Brown, few others that were on the committee at that time, we planted trees like crazy. And that was great.
Yeah.
But somebody's gotta take care of those damn things now. And so for the past few years, that's what our mission has sort of been. Pruning, maintenance, removal, inoculation, the whole 9 yards. And heretofore, we've been very much supported by the town of Waterbury, so it's all worked out well. So all is good. I believe by the emails I received from Jane and others as to what I was supposed to tell you. You want to have a little recap on what we're doing?
Sure.
Sorry about the school board, but we're planting trees here. I believe thanks to the skate park being reinvented at the center playground area. One of those very expanding birch trees needs to come down, and it's been slated to be removed. Bill might know more about this topic, by Acer. They're gonna remove the tree at their cost, and we, the tree board, is replacing that tree with a October glory red maple. So that we can continue to create the shade and protection of that little park area there. And
Glory, what?
Red.
October glory, which is actually a red maple.
It's a red one,
It's
yeah.
a red maple.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
great.
A tree,
And
okay.
as a result of all of this, the tree board has been elected to water that tree. Through the summer, and thanks to somebody, there's a faucet out there somewhere else.
All right.
The next exciting, and that's being taken care of by Acer, and I believe, Mike Lochiavo is
Yeah.
in charge of getting that tree in. It's all being taken care of. More of an FYI.
Yeah.
I didn't get to dig the hole.
Well,
Well, there's another opportunity. So the Girl Scouts, are coming to town on May 30th because they want to plant a tree to earn badges. Big stuff, I'm telling you. So they're gonna buy and plant 1 apple tree. The tree board is going to buy and add 1 tree to the existing 10 trees that are out, along the community gardens. And I went out to see if that was like a good thing to do, based on where they are. And it really does look like the last of one row will be right before the path that comes up from the ball. And then one more tree will be on the other side. So it looks like a good spot. And of course, the Girl Scouts are gonna water those trees. Or we will be watering those trees, but again, there's a spot in the class, so it's no big deal. So that's coming up on May 30th. And, in order to maintain or receive that Tree City USA thing, we have to have a Tree City celebration, so that is going to be part of the tree board celebration
With the Girl Scouts.
with the girls.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a very loose description of what that celebration has to look like. So that's gonna be good.
Well, that, she just walked in, Lisa will wanna know about that.
May 30th.
Oh, I know. I read the Waterbury roundabout, I'm sure this will be
Top story. All right.
and this is a question, this is in response to what Roger said the last time. Historically, we've gotten enough money from the town to support maintaining, Tree City USA, for whatever that's worth, and I have no comment on that. But somewhere along the line, and, you guys might know more about this, Jane was asked to submit an item to go on the budget.
There's $5,000, this was my questions I was gonna ask you. There's a $5,000 tree grant. This says grant dash tree, all capital letters, and I would assume, I actually thought it had to do with the inventory. I don't know where the money's coming for the inventory, if that was allocated from last year, or if it's new this year.
Well, I feel like I'm the
Yeah.
secretary for the president.
Yeah,
This may or may not be true, what I'm about to say, but I believe, we received a line item budget on
oh,
the,
maybe that's.
the town report, taxes, whatever, for
Yeah.
$14,000.
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll have to look into it
Well, anyway,
for the tree.
that's my information. And
For
I was,
the inoculation, what do you think? It's
For everything.
For everything.
for everything,
Okay,
it was a tree board annual budget item.
26.
There you go. And
All
so Jane has submitted how that money is going to be spent, both to Bill and I think it was on a report that came to all of you.
Yeah. The inventory report.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought that was a RFP to go out to do the inventory. That was a draft RFP to go out.
well, of that budget,
I was looking,
doing my best here.
yeah, you're doing great.
I did this for a living once, that's why I stay home at.
I tried to, look where I am.
I know. Yeah. We're neighbors, we could just meet in the woods between our houses.
Okay, Let's talk later.
So I believe that there's an idea, there's a philosophy among all the artists and the tree loving, hugging people of the world to do a tree inventory of all the trees within the city. So that's what this proposal is. It's going to be a pricey proposal.
Yeah.
So we're not expecting it to, just go. Because we have the money, we spend it, but that's why it's gonna be vetted through people because if I can say this,
So let's step back.
off camera, it's gonna be tax dollars money that we're gonna be spending on this tree inventory.
Right, I think we need to do some homework, all right?
Yeah.
So we'll find out, when this RFP is going to be officially issued, where the money is in the budget or not, when will it be done? If it's gonna be done in 2026, we gotta have, the money's gotta already be in there, right? So I
The plan
think
is
that
to
there's
have
a
it done
follow-up
while
to
the
happen.
trees have foliation.
Right,
Well, it says that certified arborists will be by late May and the work begins
that's what I
June
thought.
26th.
This summer,
So I don't know
Yeah.
if that's, is that gonna happen? Is the RFP gone out or?
No.
It has not.
no, it hasn't gone out,
Okay,
so,
so these dates need.
yeah, so, and Jane's gone for 5 weeks, you know? You're in charge?
Yeah, I got it. No, I don't know who's in charge.
We have to do some follow-up, Roger,
But nothing has to be done. I mean, this is a plan.
right,
I look at this as like, well, this is a nice plan that we've come up with. And let's see how it plays
right.
out. And I don't certainly come here with expect
you guys meet,
far too, I mean, once a month.
what's on?
But we won't be meeting, while Jane's gone, so we're like a road group, do what you want with it.
Roger's gotta get it. You gotta keep moving here.
Yeah. But anyway, that's about all I can help you out.
Roger,
My recollection of the budgeting process back in December was that Jane came to us with a significant increase in the tree board's budget expressly for this inventory to take place.
Yeah.
And that this was to be a one-time inventory, not to be repeated every year.
Correct.
And that the budget would then drop back down as we start budgeting for 2027.
Yeah.
So just so that we're clear on that, this is, at least from my standpoint, we're not anticipating that this 14,000 is now an
yeah,
established budget for trees.
well, we gotta find it in the book, so,
Well, I think your LOT money allotted 8,500 for the tree. For inventory.
oh, from the last one.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
All right, did anybody else have a question?
I have a very quick question. The tree, the expanded birch tree that needs to come down by Acer in the center, was
Yeah.
there a date for that or did I?
Imminent.
Mike,
That's my answer. I drove by there the other day and it was still standing. So
Okay.
It's not, it hasn't happened yet,
Okay.
but it's due to happen
and
the next week.
our tree warden is coordinating,
Correct.
so Mike's
Okay.
our tree warden,
Yeah,
all right? Anything else? We're gonna move on. Thank
great. See you
so
next
much.
month.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Happy to be back.
Well, I'll have just a clear, are we trying to get this RFP out or are we not trying to get this out?
Oh. I'll get back to you on that. I don't know.
Questions.
I don't know.
Talk to you about it. Let us know.
As I said, I just did the whole,
You're the messenger.
I'm the messenger. And they switched the meetings from at night to Friday mornings for me. Cause I said, I don't wanna go out at night. And look what's coming out. And where's the rest of them? Oh, yeah.
All right, Conservation Commission. All right, Amy. Amy has a presentation that I haven't seen, because I've been working.
I've been bringing them in, actually, for the last year and a half, I bring them in. I like, cause people, digest it.
Okay,
New
we would
offer.
really appreciate, I'm not taking this out on you, but I'll just say it publicly, if we can have information by Wednesday before the meeting, because we all have other lives. And it gives, I get emails on Friday that say, where's the agenda, where's material? So it gives everybody an opportunity, and that's one of the goals of this school board.
Yeah, usually I'm on point, had a personal emergency, so could manage it,
All right, thanks.
no problem. And I'm not gonna be off the cuff again, you've got some documents to go on. Well, we can go on to the next slide. All right, so what I wanna cover today is the natural resources inventory, where the status is on that. Commission membership update, and being a little leaving here, it still is next week. We've got some stalled initiative that I just wanna talk about from 2025, why. What we have so far for 2026 plan, now the team still is kind of codifying everything. And then, high priority project support as well, and then open it up for questions. Just not dense slides, but. So this one is probably the most dense. This is where, just got a status update from Arrowwood. They're the ones where we got the MPG grant. executing the natural resources inventory. Off to the left is the statistics they provided me in terms of their progress to date. So in general, they're providing the technical leadership as a reminder for those that were here last year and for those that are new. They're actually conducting a town-wide natural resources inventory. They're doing field work, data compilation, as well as mapping, so that's leveraging existing GIS work and then adding to that. We, as part of that, are in the process of reviewing the PC's municipal plan chapter for natural resource, that our team has looked at that second iteration twice. We have some commentary, we want feedback, and been working with Dana and Niels, and they're actually gonna come back to the Conservation Commission at next month's meeting, so we'll go through all. And then we'll also need and planning for a public facing outreach plan, that's gonna be part of that conversation, so we knew that. Built into the grant plan, folks like Jens and others will be supporting us in that, Carolyn's gonna help us understand when the best time is. When the rules are. So, in terms of why this matters, is that we know that it's gonna be helpful input for both. We're not expecting it to shift the plan necessarily, it may, but I don't know, I haven't seen the news piece yet. But we definitely expect it to be informative for bylaw or it's coming in for 2027. And then hazard mitigation, which that's something I brought here a few sessions ago. Or phrased it here in terms of where the Conservation Commission needs to get involved there, and so these inputs help as well. And then one thing I would like this team's help with is that Arrowwood is seeking willing landowners that are comfortable with them going on free. Not to have individualized, privatized land walk sessions, but as much as to validate things that they already got to know. So got a couple people already, but if you folks talk to anybody in different regions, we don't need everybody in Shutesville Hill. We've got a couple already, so it might be helpful in other parts of the town.
Front porch forum.
We will, we'll be definitely pushing it out that way, but just if you all know anybody. So we're looking for,
And if it comes later, you still have some spots, let us know, you know.
yep,
When, what's the time frame?
so they're in 18, well, we had a set of 18 months, they're gonna be going through Q2 of 27, so Q for the Q, end of Q1. Excuse me.
Wait, Q1 of 27, so that's March of 27, they're gonna start going out in the field?
No, they're going out now, sorry, I thought you meant the whole time frame.
No, I just wanna know when you're looking for people.
Now. Between now and the next 3 months.
Okay.
3 months.
Q2 of 27.
Sorry. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah. If there's no questions on that update, I can move on to the next one.
Yeah. Of course, is there any overlap between this and the tree inventory that Rick was having?
I suspect so, but I don't know exactly what they're doing. My guess is these are much more forest block habitat relative to higher scale. They're not doing specifically, will have some input, but I don't know the exact overlap.
Tree inventory is in public, say, public right of way, it's on public space, not private property.
I can, to your point, I can ask what
Definitely.
level of specificity we will get out of they are gonna be assessing blocks for us, but I'm not sure if you haven't seen it.
I was just curious.
There are RFPs posted on today's agenda, so you can find that on. Yeah.
Thanks. All right, next one, so some commission membership, we got some turnover, and then we've got some new additions, I was a little tangent, thinking you're gonna say yes to Scylla. So, number, we have 3 members that departed, one of which contributed, some of it contributes to some of the work at a cause. We've got 2 joining, Lotta and Scylla, right? And then we still have 2 open. So again, if you can get out there and solicit, that'd be helpful, we are doing the same, I hope you have to do the same, but just to let you know. We're still gonna earn 2 seats.
So what's the membership? Was it
Total of 9, but we
Have
have,
7, right? Meeting.
Yeah.
2.
And they're 4-year terms, not 3.
right,
And they must be Waterbury residents
that's right.
by
Yep,
state statute.
that's right. Yep,
It's just a very interesting, it's that person there.
she doesn't wanna move in with you? No? All right, so any other questions there, just to give you an update on where we're at? FYI, we got a lot of lawyers, just to be very clear with you. I think we're like majority lawyers. Not sure how it's gonna play out. Okay, she is not. She is.
Way to mix it up.
Yeah, we're in the minority. Okay, so just to let you know that we unfortunately have had a pause in our communication and outreach because two of our people who are involved in that have rolled off. So now regrouping, which is fortunate, but just to be clear, it's a capacity constraint piece. We've been talking about it, we just haven't got ourselves back up and running yet with that. We do have the means to do it, so whether it's website, Instagram, Facebook, we have that, but we just haven't had a service there. And then we did revisit it and brought it forward for our 2026 record, so that's something that's one of. Okay, so this one's around working with the planning commission. So I've already had one initial meeting with Dana. We were supposed to meet last week. We ended up having conflicts with each other, so schedule. So they're gonna come in on the first of the month in our conservation commission. We've got a series of items we want to talk about there. We want to make sure that we're able to overlay that timeline of the NRI, making sure that front loading maybe some of the pieces that are helpful for them as they're drafting and rolling out the municipal plan piece. We feel comfortable at this time that we'll be having all the right inputs ready for the 5 months because of the timeline for where they're at. We also are going to make sure that we are clear on our actions inside of the flood hazard mitigation plan. So I mentioned this when I came in as a resident once, but I'll also say it now, is that there are several pieces where the Conservation Commission is mentioned, either in grant applications or in policies and procedures that we are not acting on those. So first, I got an understanding of what they are, and then we're gonna work down the list to figure out how best to either fulfill the role that's defined or get us out of there if we're not the right people to be in those roles. So that's a piece of this work here. And then we'll revisiting the whole technical and natural resource related planning pieces. So in terms of coming back to the local hazard mitigation plan, so we need to, as I said, make sure we're really clear on those. Make sure that we're integrating best practices in there. Yeah, thank you. And so I think we have a better sense of where that is. Essentially, Planning Commission already gave us a good assessment of that gap. We have to do that as well. And then again, as I mentioned, on the communications and outreach side, that we've got to understand what we need to do. We just need to assign people. We have some volunteers. There's 3 that actually came to 2 meetings ago. They just want to be put on. So figure out how to manage it. And then the last slide is around what we're aware of. Is we've got Hope Davy, hopefully maybe Bill will give me an update on hole 1 before they opened up the field. That was already in play to get that moved out of the wetlands. We've got the Thatcher Brook and Grays, we're watching the water quality, so Marty's taking point on that with Frank Stanuski. Billy Vicker on the planning commission's also been helpful there. We're gonna continue to support Arrowwood, and the last is wherever we need to be present for Randall Nelson and Watson and Waterworks work, which I wasn't there, but I heard it was a really good presentation from the UVM field mattress team that Josh took a point. We're holding being a liaison. And then the last, we don't need to go over, but these are action items for us, just summarizing what we've already talked about.
Questions? Thank you. Very clear. Thank you.
Bill, can I get an update on hole 1?
I don't think they asked you if you had questions. Asked us. I don't know the answer right now, but I know.
You wouldn't
Aaron
mind that,
thinks,
would
yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Say it. Yeah, no further.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Billy, you can just sit right there.
Nice try.
Yeah, no. All right, thank you so much, Amy. Thank you for all of that. It's really helpful to have you come in and it's very promising. So you would like to be on the Conservation Commission. Can you please tell the board your background and why you'd like to do this and ask them other questions?
Sure. Hi, my name is Sila Larson. I live in Waterbury Center and I've been here since 2019. my husband and I are restoring an 1830s farmhouse from top to bottom. And I work with DEC, Agency of Natural Resources. I'm the engineering and water resources program manager with the drinking water program. So I'm an engineer and manage a team doing all source permitting. I have a geologist doing all source permitting, source protection for public drinking water, and then moving from source to infrastructure, treatment, pipes, pumps, etc. The engineering team is overseeing all of the review and approval of all of that work that is associated with public drinking water. I have a background as an environmental engineer, and I am a homesteader. I have meat birds. I grow my own food that I, still eating out of from the basement. I care about the environment. I benefit a lot from the beautiful natural resources we have here in Waterbury, and I would love the opportunity to collaborate with my community here in preserving that, conserve it, and make it available to everyone. And there's time.
Questions from the board? Roger?
We just saw quite a bit of different activity being planned by the Conservation Commission. Where do you see yourself fitting in to that work plan?
Yeah, that's a good question. I take on different roles within the Conservation Commission. I used to work with the health department, doing a lot of fielding a lot of phone calls and a lot of outreach. So I have a fair amount of experience with social media and doing sort of successful communications with right now in my position right now, I do a lot of strategic development. That's my role, leadership role. So thinking long-term planning for what it is we want to be doing. I would love to engage in that space, and then working with the group, collaborating, thinking about how we can think long-term, but also pull in activities in the short term to sort of engage the community in conservation practices that will feed into housing all of them, creating a community that's better.
I'm assuming that Amy talked about the hours or the commitment to help on the committee and planning and just attending meetings, and we don't have any concern about that.
And the pay.
We all have that.
Actually, we're running out of time.
Any other questions? I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we accept Sheila Larson to be the appointee for the conservation.
Just to clarify, this is for a 4-year term, or it's not filling a vacancy? Wait,
She's taking a new,
it's a new 4-year term, okay.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Well, the Conservation
Welcome.
Commission.
Look at that. Split second timing. Amazing.
7:20. Manager report.
I'd like to start. Could I have Celia come up? Celia, you got time to come up? So Celia Clark is our in charge of all of our roads and the road crew. And I'm gonna cede a little bit of my time to her. We have some purchasing of new trucks is now like a 3-year process, kind of. So we've got a tandem. We purchased the chassis last year, and I'll let Celia take it from there, if you don't mind.
First question, did you find the money?
Yes, well, I did, but whether they approve it or not.
The money.
Yeah.
Right, yes, as he stated, we purchased a, tandem chassis in 25. And originally the body and the plow and stuff were supposed to be installed in 26. But that's been pushed off by the, putting until the first quarter of 27. So in light of that, I don't, were you able to send out the? I don't know, oh, we go. All right,
Same,
in-
right.
in light of that, since there's money slated for the plow and body stuff for this year to finish paying for the initial tandem, we were slated to purchase another truck. We were slated in 24 to do all this stuff. So in 27, we should start the process for the new chassis this year. And
For which truck?
the second truck, yeah, so that we can get it in line to, since COVID, everything has stretched out, and Vermont only has one big, truck body plow installer, so they are busy, as you can see.
Yeah.
General fallback is at least 1.5 years to 2 years before things get taken care of. So in light of that, when I found out that the truck wouldn't be finished this year, and talking to, the truck chassis people and just knowing what's coming down the line, 27, the new emissions rules are supposed to start, which means the engines all change. They get more expensive, who knows what comes with it, but it was my hopes to convince you or ask if we could, since we're not getting the first truck finished this year, and we do have some money to, that was supposed to finish paying for that truck. Purchase another chassis this year. And, so one of the reasons why I'd like to do that, is if I can purchase it now, if I do it fast enough, I can get it before the new emissions engine.
Right.
We save money there, and then we're not a guinea pig for a new engine. And then if all works well, we potentially could get both those trucks if the installer holds to what he says, he might be able to really get both trucks finished in 27.
Can I ask some questions?
Sure.
I support you. I just want to understand the math and what's in the budget and what's not in the budget. So for 26, the budget for the truck was for the chassis and the equipment.
No, the chassis was paid for in 25.
Okay, that's the 170.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the chassis paid for,
Right.
and it's going to be delivered in 26?
It's already here.
Oh, you already
We
got it,
don't
okay.
have it, but it's at the,
Okay, so what was in the budget for 26? 3?
The 310 for the whole truck was in 25.
Oh, so we have another 177 to carry over,
Yeah,
Got
and she bought the chassis, we just haven't paid for the
other half,
equipment.
the rest
Yeah.
of stuff, okay. So to place, so you have 177, let's call it, left over in 26 to put for another truck. What's the total of the new truck?
the new truck chassis would be,
150, is that the 159?
yes, but if we opt to go with a warranty,
Oh, the warranty,
it would bring it up to,
160, 177,
yes.
and that's about what's left over.
I think Celia's reasoning is very sound in this.
Yeah,
The delay in all these things makes things very difficult to plan ahead. We no longer just order a truck and get it all totally
Usually we
equipped.
use the order truck and get it in the same year,
Mhm.
and,
No,
Those
it takes
days
2
are
years
gone,
for
yeah.
to put it together.
yeah, that's it.
And she soundly points out the increased maintenance costs we're experiencing.
Right.
So,
So there's money already there though to order the new truck. Chassis,
Well, not technically.
Not enough.
It was, part of it was supposed to pay for,
I understand that, but then we have to allocate in 27 for both setups, both of the extra setup, I don't. Plow,
Well, the original setup was allocated previous in 25.
I know, but we wanna use that money to
Yeah.
buy this one.
Celia's point is, I think, is that you're about $50,000 to $60,000 or so shortish of
For this,
two complete trucks in the big picture.
oh, in the big picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, so next year, in the 27 budget, we just have to allocate for the appendages, so
yes,
right? Cause you've got the money. Now, the money has already been allocated to buy another, well, we wanna use it to buy another truck. With the extended warranty.
I think, they'll need a motion from us to,
Right.
allow them.
Right, to do that.
I'll move that we approve the purchase of the chassis at $177,000
From we need to specify that it's
for the second truck.
for the second truck. Which is the funds from. In the approved budget,
Was it?
right, Bill?
If you're approving the second car, the 6-wheel truck, some of which the cost won't be borne until next year anyway.
For the rest of it, we're gonna have a note, we're gonna remember when we go to do budgets. That we are gonna need to allocate funds in 27 for both of the setups for them. And you're gonna tell us what those are gonna be.
Should be pretty close.
Is there an overage in this year's budget?
Yeah, so in 25, they allocated for the whole truck, and they're gonna take the other half of that, the 177, and use it to buy the new check.
But can't say we're still short around 60,000.
Yeah,
Well, I
understand
wasn't
that.
aware that the 170 was in the budget. I thought it was just for the 110, which was the cost of the, putting the body down. So from that point, I added the extra. I didn't, as I said, I was not aware that there was an additional 175 or there were 177 left over from last year. I thought it was just the 110. So it
It's
actually works out
310.
better. Right.
It's 310, and you've used half of it.
Right.
So you wanna use the other half to put down payment on this other truck that will be delivered next year.
If I order chassis, it will be delivered this year.
So you get to look at
Well,
No.
no, there's still a truck store.
it. Any questions from the board? Other questions from the board? I think I saw that. Did you have that? Yeah?
I just agree, I just want to know what we've seen.
Okay,
The 310 was probably.
Yeah. okay,
Spend out the,
okay.
I'm gonna spend.
Just, you agree with me, so. Just sorry. And you had a motion, and did somebody second? Did somebody make a motion? And who
Okay,
seconded
so
it?
Roger,
Nobody.
I didn't even get half of it. Roger made a motion.
My motion was to approve the purchase of the, chassis,
Six minutes.
for the 6-wheel, vehicle.
Chassis,
Yeah, I said chassis.
Yeah.
okay,
Can I ask a question? Are we just,
I'll second it.
yeah,
Yes,
and
sorry.
then move to discussion.
Okay.
All right,
Don seconded.
okay,
Are we just approving the second wheel purchase, not the extended warranty then? Is that something?
no,
separate
we're approving the extended warranty.
With that,
With the
Yeah,
extended.
okay.
Yeah, that was what makes the 177-ish.
We probably should throw that into the.
Yeah.
I'll accept the friendly amendment.
Warranty, with the extended warranty.
Right, good catch. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. There you go.
Thank you, Celia, for coming in at night.
Sure.
We're very fortunate to have you. All right. It's still Woody.
Yeah, so just a couple quick updates on Randall Meadow. We're still waiting on the Attorney General's office to review the subdivision and property management to sign off on that before they move to setting a closing date. The RFPs are both out for Randall Meadow and Woody Avenue. We are getting some responses and questions and such to those, so there appears to be some interest. So that's good news on those fronts. Woody Avenue is due back May 29th, so that's coming up. And Randall Meadow on June 11th,
May 9th?
29th,
Okay. Randall Meadow.
June 11th is,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I've got for updates right now.
Where's where's the W?
Yeah, that went back with corrections and sits in what the lawyer thinks is a form that you folks could have a look at and approve for me to sign or, yeah, as we move forward.
Next meeting, you think?
Oh, absolutely, or, yeah.
Yeah, okay. June second. Okay, it'd be good to have that before the Wednesday, before the meeting.
Yep. Oh, and just touch base, the bandstand at Rusty Parker Park, the roof on that, not on the bandstand, on the gazebo is in need of repairs. The Rotary was asked if the board might consider paying for half of the repair on that roof. They don't know yet whether they're gonna tackle it or not, but they've floated that as an idea as to whether
They're gonna hire it now?
they're still floating it around, whether they want to have it completely redone or just painted or.
Yeah.
But
Why don't they come in and make a presentation?
yeah, they're still thinking about it. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
told her, like, throw it out there.
Then the board would like to have them come in and sell us.
Yes,
Has EFUD given any consideration of releasing any of their maintenance, funds for, the parks?
for the parks,
Yeah,
you folks took the parks. a few
we
years
took the
ago,
parks, we
so
did not get the maintenance fund.
Yeah.
So-
Buyer beware.
So I take,
All right.
that sounds like a no.
I think, yeah, move on.
I did, interesting story on the gazebo, which I didn't know. The spire that sticks up is a javelin from Montpelier High School. That was broken. They were under low budget back when they built that.
Oh, yeah.
And the brass, the ball that makes it look like a lightning rod was actually a piece from an old toilet they had taken out.
Huh.
And that's the part of the
Is that the
gazebo
part
that's in
that
good
needs to be
shape.
replaced?
Oh, that's in good shape.
Oh, okay, good. All
It
right,
wasn't a shot
there.
No.
Oh, there's scavenge parts that
Yeah.
needs to get collected to do the other there.
And just as a touching base on what's moving ahead, next meeting, we hopefully will meet with an animal control officer. Next meeting, we will also talk about Woodard Hill. The state has some projects down there they want to do, so, some of that stuff might be up on the Selectboard page here shortly.
All right. We're way ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Oh, I had the animal control for tonight.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Oh. No, I can, she is willing to come in, but I think the last I didn't hear from her till Monday, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do it 6:2. Okay.
List, where is it listed?
No, I think it was for next,
Huh?
I think it was for next meeting.
Okay. That's why getting these random things. All right. We're ahead of schedule, 8 o'clock. Can we move on to the select board matter?
Sure.
All right, municipal manager update?
So I'm going to read, Bill Fraser is the person from VLCT that we're consulting with around this. He's kind of heading up the search and he's looking at the response. I'm going to read part of his email. He just said that, because he's updating us every week. He said the responses are still very slow. We received 2 more applications this week, one of which is strong. I also spoke with current Vermont manager who told me they're intent on applying. On the other hand, the remaining target candidates declined to apply. He's been targeting certain ones that he's really been trying to recruit, and they've sort of declined. Not about money or whatever, but because they're not ready to relocate right now. 12 more days left in the ad search, and we'll ramp up the direct outreach. And he'll keep us posted. So he says the current tally right now is 5 applicants, 2 strong, 2 maybe, and 1 probably not. So that's the update where we're at.
So what's the plan in terms of closing?
The end of, I think it's the end of May, it's at 12 days, so
Yeah, I think we are supposed to,
I have to look at the schedule.
hold on a second. I think it's,
Yeah.
yeah, so he's requested that we have executive session at 5:30 on the 2nd. And to go over his application. And so depending on what we hear, I guess next week. We can either punt that or keep that, or, you know, but I think for now, you should sort of pencil in on your schedules that he is going to come, 5:30. That'll be okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay,
Do you know if there was a particular number of applications he was hoping for? Did you have a target in mind?
No,
he said it's been, what my read is it's been all over the place. Seen some that have had a lot and some that have, and it's just an evolving situation. You know, somebody, Northfield just got a new one, Wyndham just got a new, Windsor just got a new one. Newport's advertising, you know, there's competition.
you said one town had a bunch of them, like in the 40s,
44.
but really only a couple, two
Oh, that's
to
right.
5 that were really strong. So the numbers isn't the issue. And as you mentioned, as we mentioned before, the salary was low for some people, and that was,
Yeah,
but we decided let's just sit tight. That's what we advertise and see what we get. So that has held back some people because they were looking for more, you know.
okay. Town clerk position? Oh, sorry,
Before you move on, point of clarification.
come on up here.
I just want to know, who have the advertised salary amount as you originally
Yes,
started out.
that's what he said. Yep.
It was
Now,
yeah, it was 125 to 140, and some candidates wanted 155 and some.
all right,
So that's what that said.
town clerk position. So at the, we had a special meeting last Friday, and, the motion we had was coming out of executive session, the motion was to offer West Pollock the position of town clerk pending satisfactory outcome of reference checks, background check, and the ability to be bonded. And so we're moving through the process of doing reference checks. Do you want to report on some of that now?
Be glad to.
Thanks.
I talked with Louise Landry. She's a paralegal, works in a law firm down in Manchester, Vermont. She worked with West Pollock for about 5 years pre-COVID. While he was clerking to be a lawyer, didn't go to law school, clerked in. And her report is that he always exemplified professional conduct. There were no complaints, that he was always polite, that he was a good listener. She thinks that he proved himself to be extremely intelligent. He passed the bar on his first way through, which not everyone does. And that he works well in teams. They had a staff of 5 or 6 staff people that he worked well with them. It's easy to get along with, and he's a quick learner. And he had a caseload of between 50 and 75 cases at any given time. Her job was to keep him on task, and she never had to remind him twice that he always stayed on task and got the job done. And then I also talked to Anastasia Cole, who is the owner of Casting Court, where this is working on Friday nights. She's known him for a long time. She finds him to be patient, bright. She says he has a Cornell brain. Which I believe means that his brain has been preserved in formaldehyde. So we might want to look into that. She says that he's a quick learner and has been great with clients at the festival. She recommends it highly.
And we got one more that came in very late. We don't have time for, it just came in this afternoon and they're at a different time, so we'll finish that. I guess I would ask the board to make a motion to continue, and if you're satisfied with the third reference, although we've already got two very highly qualified ones, it sounds like. The third one is was a client of his, and so that gives the other side of the legal process as well.
Who's conducting background check?
What's that?
Who's conducting background check?
What Roger's been doing them, I'm hoping.
That's a reference to the background check.
Oh, the background check, I'm sorry, that'll be the state police.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would be, I'm kind of asking for the next step, if you guys are good with what you just heard, would you make a motion to keep moving forward? And, send a offer letter to Wes based upon background checks and bonding. Yep, come on up, Dover.
So I'm, Bill Shekel. I'm just curious about the bonding. We purchase,
It's,
bonds through VLCT,
Yeah.
public officials bond.
Right.
Yeah.
that's where we're headed.
So,
Evan?
Yeah, but I think based on what we moved in our last session, it's not really necessary. I'll cross the Ts and dot the Is and move to continue forward with the background check. Is that
Great, that's what I wanted to know.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All right,
Evan made the motion to continue to move forward with the background check.
correct,
Okay, and Sandy seconded it.
yeah.
so
You're.
Oh, yeah. This
So we're
is
not gonna make
great
this official
compared to
until June.
e-bug.
Can we, make this official as soon as, can we make, yeah.
That's what I
make it
thought,
on a-
it's conditional.
Yeah, the offer, the motion was to. Read it again. To make an offer based upon
That's-
satisfactory outcome of the references. So,
So we just passed a motion to continue the background checks. I move that we offer the position, it's an appointed position until,
yep,
right, town meeting day. To Wes,
right,
based upon successfully completing the background check and a last reference.
right. You good, Kaya?
So yeah, I got as far as appoint a position to West based on the,
The successful completion of the background check. And the third reference.
yeah, thank you.
Who's second? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Treasurer, financial director, job description.
So this is just kind of a proposal, that we're throwing around. The idea of making a temporary part-time position through the, until March, to have a finance director that would be responsible for, balancing the checkbooks and budget tracking, helping out with the bookkeeper, with audit preparation, helping transition software and also inventory tracking. This would be a part-time exempt position, with potentially if this all worked out well for, the town as far as, everyone was happy with.
So this is not a treasurer position, this is just a financial director. I think I introduced it incorrectly, I'm sorry.
Right.
This is we're advertised for a financial director, part-time financial director.
And this person would work with the town manager to help develop the budget. Just like Bill comes and does the quarterly reports, this person would be responsible for that. Working with the bookkeeper. They also, like I said, reconciling the checkbooks because that needs to be separate. It should actually be a separate process from anybody that signs checks. So that's another thing that keeps it out of there. Like I said, budget tracking, basically a lot of the things that Bill's been helping out with. It would just be a part-time job, but it would be something I think that a retired person in that field would be helpful, and I think it would help with some of the issues we have right now with understaffing and maybe helping out.
So let me add a little bit, because I've been working with Sandy on this, and we've also talked with, Skip to see if EPUD would be interested in also having a part-time financial director. So there's 2 part-time positions. It's beyond just the town meeting day. It's a ongoing part-time position for now. If things change with respect to treasurer, that's a different conversation, but for now, we're talking about looking to advertise for, I guess, 2 part-time positions, and before this gets posted, I think we should confirm that with EPUD. I did talk with Skip, I am allowed to say that they would be interested in moving forward in that direction as well. Questions?
What is the FTE and estimated cost from, let's say, the person comes on in June, July, by the time we advertise?
Well, what
What
I was looking at was $30 an hour. The hope is that, because Bill is still here and Leanne is still here, that they could help transition them and help some of the tasks that they're doing so that they can be retired. Give them the opportunity to have time off, and with their knowledge, it would be the time to be able to train somebody. You know, hopefully somebody that has a lot of knowledge would go, but I mean, I'm just saying, I know I would, if I was, it's just a job that I think any retired person would like, and I think it would bring a lot to the town, and it would help with the issues we're having now.
Sandy, how many hours? I mean, that's
Well,
30 per hour. You're thinking 10?
Well, I put
Just think of
20
it.
to 30, so 20 to 30 hours a week, but it would be under 20 hours a week is when I started, but
Yeah.
more than 30.
Well, for just the town portion,
Right, then I wouldn't say more
okay,
than 20.
Yeah.
it's not more than 20.
Right.
I mean, this is a new position.
Right.
And we can talk about the next agenda item, but this is a new position. The idea is to get a posting out once, and I think it would be helpful to have the posting. We need to have, the EPUD needs to make a decision if they want to join in for it.
So if this was for a full year, it would be 31,200, and there's no benefits. So I don't know if part-time people accrue any.
Probably
I'm
6
off.
days or something, maybe, you know, program.
I guess maybe we could entertain, or I would entertain a motion to have Sandy continue to move forward with drafting or getting confirmation from EPUD, finalizing. You folks have had a chance to look at that job description. It went out and it's posted. Unless you have some changes to it or recommendations, get those back to her. We can send it to EPUD and before their next meeting, so they can think about what they like or dislike about it, and then get it posted. Questions?
Before the motion, I'm just curious how this is gonna play out. And municipal manager interviews. Because all the stuff he listed is listed in that job description that went on. So that's gonna be interesting. You know, putting that out in the interviews, but this may not be possible. One might be a benefit to people. They don't.
I think it would be great. It would be an asset for them to work together,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of
Some need.
process.
save some of, not putting a real big emphasis on the financial part of it for, town manager more, so that the town manager can focus more on.
Managing. Roger,
Where does this leave the treasurer?
Bill is in the treasurer until we made the motion that he's the treasurer until next town meeting day. That's the interesting part about this is this financial director position does not have to be a resident.
A resident.
A resident,
Resident long.
Bill. You should sit in the front. I mean,
Yes,
oh,
How many steps?
I think that, I think that this is a reasonable idea to consider. I told you all that back when the NBNs retired as the bookkeeper, I went to the boards and I asked the boards then, if in addition to hiring a bookkeeper, that I could hire a finance director. Now, this is a part-time position. It's not intended to be a finance director. My concern is two things. The timing of it, not so much because you're asking, you know, that you've got some financial skill sets included in the manager's job description. I think that they should have that. But maybe you can start advertising that. I think if you're gonna be hiring a manager in the relatively near future, you'd be better off letting the manager hire the person that they wanna work with, as opposed to hiring somebody and then, here you go, this is who you're gonna work with. So that's one concern. The second concern, or, I think that you should think about, you have people now on staff who work for both the town and E-Fund, and they get one paycheck. So Maya is the tax billing and utility billing clerk. She gets a town paycheck, I think, but E-Fund pays part of her salary. If that's one position, and if she works more than 24 hours, they have to get retirement. Beamer's is 24 hours, and it would not be fair, I think, to hire somebody as the town finance director and say, you're gonna work 20 hours for the town, and then the same person gets to be the E-Fund finance director, and they work 10 hours for the village, and somehow you don't give them the same benefits that current staff.
Yeah, I'm not really sure that you can even do that.
Well, so what, it would be problematic, and so I think you need to discuss with E-Fund and kind of firm up what you need to do. The third thing, and it's not a big concern, I appreciate Cindy's desire for me to be able to move on. I'm doing a lot of the stuff that you're talking about this person is doing. I'm doing it for more than what you're, with this salary, well, wage is. I'm prepared to continue doing the work that I'm doing, well, and I'm doing some work for E-Fund as well. I'm willing to continue to do that. Right now, I'm working about 1 to 1.5 days a week. So, you know, anywhere from 6 to 14 hours a week is generally what I'm working right now. I could work more, there's more stuff to do, but really, I think I know, I have a good idea of what I'm doing, and I think I can be a little bit more efficient that way. So there's no hurry on my account to get rid of me, except if you think that you can get it done more cheaply. I appreciate that. I'm a taxpayer, and you know, I'm working because I enjoy the work, and B, I want to help the community. So just take those things into consideration. But I really think that allowing the manager to hire staff people, especially critical staff people, that is something we should
Thank you.
think about.
Chris, did you want to say something?
Yeah.
I looked up the job description of the financial director the other day and, based on all the years I was on the board before, it seemed like that scope was basically what a manager used to do. Part-time government never stays part-time. You just heard testimony here tonight from our school board members. And costs are out of control. Unfortunately, I'm seeing a different side of the struggle with younger people that most people aren't seeing. I'm talking to people out there by looking at projects who are, one guy resorted to putting up a double wide because he simply, him and his wife can't. Property that he received was given to him and he simply can't afford to build a stick-built home. Another guy works for Green Mountain Power. He moonlights doing electrical jobs for other people. And he has a bandsaw mill and he moonlights doing that as well. So basically he's got 3 jobs and he just bought a piece of property in Barry and he told me, he said, Chris, my wife and I, we got a little 8-year-old boy there at the house, struggle every night and have conversation all the time about whether or not we're making the right decision. I'm seeing an unusual amount of real estate signs going up. Down to the Northeast Kingdom and back, and even here in Waterbury, exceptional amount of real estate signs going up. In spring, and I don't think I think it's because of the pressure. I just got my tax bill from my place up in Holland, it went up 125%. The appraisal. And I know the whole story about how that's supposed to work, but how it's supposed to work and actually how it's gonna work, 2 completely different things, and I think most of us realize that. So I'm concerned about continuing to add here. My question was gonna be also with the fact that we're having to replace staff and train staff, now another dump truck added to the list, which was, I know that I was at the Essex Log Show, that trucks are in fact gonna go to $300,000 for a basic truck triaxle here next year because of the emissions crap. So I guess I'm just trying to advise you to think twice about adding this position simply because, you know, Bill used to handle it, seemed like he handled it rather well. And I do agree with him, like, wait till we get a new manager here. Perhaps let him see where he goes with operating the town, and if he thinks maybe some assistance down the road might be needed, but I wouldn't jump too quick into adding another cost to our town. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know that we're getting out of control with our town isn't exploding with
We're not trying to add, we're trying to consolidate.
I don't think we're turning into Williston yet.
All right. Any other questions? Any other comments? What's our next action from this? We'll touch base with you first. Let's touch base with you, okay? Next item, all right, so this is gonna help inform some of the comments that we just heard. Staff job descriptions effort. Don and I, months ago, March. Spoke with Ann Levesque from Workplace Strategy Consulting, to address, just exactly what you, and Bill have been referring to. They would come in, or she would come in and do an assessment of the job descriptions, meet with staff, find out what is being done, what the tasks are, not the people, but the tasks that need to be completed to run our town efficiently. And, the reason it's on here now is because she's not even available now until the end of July. So we need to get in her queue if we would like to move forward. This money has already been allocated in the budget from last year, $15,000.
How much?
15, which is approximately what this estimate is for. I think this is about 18,000. And so if you've had a chance to read it, you have any questions?
She also, gonna do the job description, which is required by the new union contract, that can be done by January 1st, so
This feeds into
this is what
that.
has to be.
Okay.
I guess one question I asked was, I asked why we went with her and why we didn't give like our queue up for that.
I kind of did it backwards, I guess you'd say. I went to VLCT and said, who does this? I asked them if they would do it. They would not do it. They did recommend 2 others. One is actually Beth Gilpin, and she declined. And then there was another one, I'd have to look at my notes, but so I had 3. I talked to 3 different, or we ended up having a call with Anne, who was available at the time and now is not available. So there's not a lot out there. And she was, under contract, back in October, November, to do the mediation with, staff at the time. And that never came to fruition. So she's actually invested, she said, about 6 hours of her time. She did not charge the town for it. But she was already, vetted for that, effort.
Well, I guess my question was, another question, sorry. As far as the job descriptions, I understand about the union and having.
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, I understand about the union and having to create job descriptions. I was looking through the contract and I didn't see where that was, I must have missed it. I didn't know where it was as of the first, but, my question is there a reason that we don't have job descriptions now, or what is it about them? I mean, it's kind of a, I mean,
Yeah.
VLCT has templates for things like that. I just hate to pay somebody $185 an hour to go around and interview with everybody to say, hey, what do you do? Instead of taking job descriptions and saying, how incorrect or correct is this with the employees and working through. Yeah, this seems like a lot to.
I actually think, to be honest with you, I think it's a very worthwhile exercise at this point in time. There's been a significant turnover. People are covering for other people. People don't always know from my conversations with some staff, not everyone knows whose job it is to do whatever. And so this is not, when we talked with her very clearly, this is not this is to understand what the responsibilities that need to be done and to run our town efficiently. We also have the situation where EFUD is involved, and EFUD wants to do different things, and it's just a very transitional time. And so because of the union contract requiring job descriptions, this would help meet that requirement, and it would also identify gaps to the conversation about whether we should have a financial director. It would identify that. And so, I mean, to me personally, it seems like a very worthwhile exercise to get input from staff to be sure they're comfortable with what the responsibilities that need to get done. Could help identify efficiencies, could improve technology. And
On the other part of that is, I kind of feel that this would be something that a town manager might want to be involved in, and if we're looking for a town manager.
she can't start till July.
Right.
That's the whole point. But if we don't sign her up, then she is not going to be available till December, and then it's not going to have time to meet the union contract. I mean, she has a 6-month process.
I just feel like I would have felt more comfortable if we had an RFQ out there, because I know that, you know, you've worked with her or whatever, there are a lot of them out there as far as, I went to the LCT, and there's a lot more than just 3 or 4, there was almost 18. So if we hadn't, you know, I mean, maybe you didn't talk to all of them, or maybe, but I didn't see anything in there that said that she worked with municipalities. And municipalities are different, everyone knows. So that's just a concern that I have, you know, I think it's a great idea. I don't feel like I'm convinced that we should just go with her.
Okay. Roger?
Wonder if we could ask the opinion of the interim municipal manager. So,
Sure. Yeah, I think a lot of what she lays out in her scope of work, best practices, legal compliance, that's of value at any point in an organization. The job descriptions that are needed by and for the union, we can do a lot of that work in-house. I mean, she can help shepherd it. I don't think she needs to learn what a, you know, truck driver's job description is or equipment operator's job description is. I think we can provide her with a lot of stuff to take down that, you know, let her do the high level thinking, you know. But there are, you know, if it was of value a year ago and thought it was needed, it's probably still of value now.
you know, that, a year ago, staff morale was a critical issue, and I don't know whether this would all address that at all, or whether it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, and I had originally reached out to Ann, like I say, a year plus ago, as an initial call, just saying, I know you do some professional management, leadership training, stuff like that, mediation. Would you consider being involved? And at that point, it really wasn't even, I was the public works, it really wasn't my job to push management training on anybody. So, but I'm not the only staff member here tonight. No, I think clarification of job roles and what you should do and what you think that there's value there. We don't have a dedicated HR person per se.
Evan?
I definitely think that updated job descriptions are very necessary, but I feel like we should have those in place before we would move forward with hiring, for example, a financial director. Like, I wanna, like you said, like some of the duties are currently in the municipal manager job posting. I would want to figure out where all those responsibilities are gonna land as soon as possible before we start creating new positions. I think we should go on with this. And like you said, the timeline is kind of present.
John?
I was whole comment.
What's that?
I said I was whole comment. And you know I'm supportive of her, so I just want to hear what
Well, I mean, that's,
Valerie
from
said.
everybody.
Yeah. And Valerie.
Oh, Valerie, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I saw.
Okay, you're still, so thank you for letting me speak. So I appreciate what you said, Sandy, about, an RFQ potentially and the Vermont League of Cities and Towns. So I think that that's why we partner with them, because they can help us. So I guess I really think that, you know, job descriptions are important. You can get a boilerplate job description. I'm not sure if you're trying to develop a job description or if you're trying to match a job description to what they're doing now. So, which is not the way it usually works. So I thought you were saying, well, we want to see what they do so we can make a job description, which is not, they're doing everything now. So they need to be a little bit more stay in your lane, except cross training. But getting back to basics, I mean, this board started in March. This strategy consulting letter was in March, and I could see that there was
discussion, there was not an open discussion. So there was not any of the select board meetings that I attended or watched, was this even on the table? So I feel like open meeting law, this should at least been mentioned that you were going to reach out to somebody.
Well, I guess I would look at it slightly different. So both Don and I ran on staffing. And so Don and I talked about this, and what we can do to, address staffing at the town level. And actually, I spent 3 phone calls, hour and a half with the LCC people and got nowhere, which is a very big frustration for me. I also talked to other consultants. So I just did that on my own. And then we got, then I found out that Ann had worked at the town or was under contract to work for the town before. And so we got on the phone with her to ask her what do you do? We just sort of did an interview and then said, well, could you put together a proposal? And that's the document. And then we moved towards the town manager's focus and put this on the side. Because we had the same consideration that it would be good to have the town manager on staff, on board before this starts happening. And then when we reached back out to Ann and said, how valid is this proposal? She said, well, I'm not available now until the end of July or in July. And so it's really on the table here tonight for the purpose of understanding that that timeline is sliding out further and further.
I appreciate that. I think everything you just said now would have been great to hear and heard back in earlier March when you were talking about it. I'm talking about just transparency.
Yeah, I guess I don't.
I wish you would have just said at an earlier meeting, this is what I think Don and I ran on this, and this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'll add, my concern is that, there's been some staffing issues been alluded to in the last year, Roger did. So coming in new and 4 of us are new, I didn't know, still don't know what all went on. But I think it's a concern for, us to figure that out. I'm also concerned about EFLAT and what their plans are. And I sort of was gonna ask the question and I thought I'd hold off, and I'm gonna ask it anyway. What Bill's point was, Bill Sheplick saying about have 2 employees, and if you have hours here, you don't get retirement. Well, why doesn't the town hire all the employees and we can subcontract out to EFLAT versus them having their own employees that are part-time? So that's kind of a mess that we're still kind of figuring out. It would be nice to have somebody to come in separate from all the, not being an employee, or to say to the new town manager, here, figure this out about EFLAT and all these, positions and so forth, when they may not even be aware there's an EFLAT that even exists in this town. So I think this is nice to have a person separate, not connected to anybody, and I know that doesn't answer your question about other people being available. But again, time is of the essence. Go out and change this and get RFP out. We're under a time. Yeah, the job descriptions to me aren't the big thing as far as complicated. There's all the dynamics of how this operation works that I'm concerned about. I'm trying to get things straightened around and different.
Evan,
If we did put out an RFP and look for other people to do this work, what would the timeline for that look like? And is there a chance that they would be able to start on a similar schedule, or would that be pushed out another 6 months?
magic question.
It's usually 2 to 3 weeks, at least, to get responses on. And it's
Well, you've got to draft the RFP, you got to
right.
agree to
Right.
it. So now we're talking June, and then.
Well, if you base the RFP on what her proposal
Is that a question?
I'm just saying, you would have to draft an RFP, and if we have a guideline of what you want done right there, so it's right there. I mean, you would have to word it, but I mean, I'm just concerned because I didn't see, and maybe I'm just not seeing it. I don't see where this person has any experience with a municipality. it's a different, it's not like going into a corporation. And I'm sure she's great, but I, you know, I just.
Had a good time.
So. Woody or Roger, since you were here in the past, who recommended her in the first round? What was the qualifications that you're in to a municipality, to do the work,
Yep.
right? It's a Sandy's question.
Yeah, I'll go back a year plus when things were not good. I cold called her as the Public Works Director. She came recommended from somebody at UVM, where she had done some management consulting at UVM. The person I spoke to recommended Anne as very no nonsense, very straightforward, very good to get along with. But she doesn't mince any words. She puts it right out there. So she came highly recommended. So I gave her name, I believe, to Tom. And maybe to the boards at the time. I can remember. Definitely to Tom. I know that. And I left it at that. And called me and, wanted a little background on the organization. I gave it to her. And said, I'm really not the one who hires, HR consultants. So I've forwarded it on and here we go.
So what did the board do? Roger, did you interview her or how did?
You and Mike Bard.
Right, yeah, I spoke with her, briefly, but, with a strong, recommendation, from Woody, and his contacts, at UVM, and, talked with the municipal manager, Tom Lights, about it, and he agreed, to work with her. It was a fairly critical situation from our standpoint. At the time, there was a pretty significant disagreement, within the building, how things were being managed. And we felt like an external consultant would be very helpful, and, so, the board agreed to engage her, in this process. This was tried earlier, she came in for a couple of different sessions, I didn't know that she never billed us, but, from what I heard, everyone who talked to her felt like it was, worthwhile, and that, could go forward, but that, same time, certain amount of damage among, professional relations that happened, and that was gonna be difficult to repair. So, in that case, it was all about her, capacity, to act as a mediator. Sort of independent of this, new proposal.
Well, I agree that at the time, that probably was something that needed to be done right then, but I just, with so many things right now where I feel like there is not the same conflict that we had before, and the urgency, although I know we need to have those done, I'm just feel like this is kind of being pushed without finding out if this is the right person. And maybe she is, I don't know, but I don't
Well,
know.
what's your pleasure? I mean, do you wanna table it? Do you wanna take a motion? Do you want, you guys decide. No action at all?
Well, I hear Sandy's concern is the cost.
The
Right.
cost has already been approved in the budget.
I'm just saying that was a concern. I don't know. You get somebody, you get what you pay for too, I mean, who knows, who's out there. What their experience is. I mean, I just think starting over again and doing all that, it's just gonna delay it and
Evan?
I will move that the town engage him with us as an HR consultant. As proposed.
I'll second. I have it.
Any further discussion?
I just feel like we have a proposal right in front of us today, of somebody who is apparently well qualified to do this and. Don't feel like if we ask for more proposals that we're gonna get something significantly better, it would justify the time we would spend.
Can I show you the list that I got from of how many people there were on their human resources from VLCT?
What, I'm not sure what this list is showing.
This is the list of this is what Ann does. This is where she was on the list. And this is how many other choices that VLCT gave.
So how,
It's not just 3. There's a lot of them.
right, and I'm sure those people don't charge $30 an hour. 25.
But
You know what I mean?
You know,
Yeah, it was-
my feeling was that the qualifications to work with a municipality is it's not a corporation, it's a whole different, it's not a nonprofit, it's a whole different.
And if you do work with UVM and
Yeah.
academia, that's a whole different animal.
Yes, 'cause
I'm just saying, that's
I've
not,
worked in education as well.
Yeah.
And you're right, but that's a whole different person too. You wouldn't hire somebody that's a professional at working at
yeah, but
municipalities
Ann
in
did work.
education.
So she looks like she's got to, be able to.
And she,
work.
like I
Yeah.
said, she may be the perfect person, but if we haven't looked for anyone else, I mean.
Well, we
3,
did,
yes.
wait a minute, I just want to correct that, because I've spent a lot of time on the phone with these people. So, we did look for other people. And this is where it came up. All right, we have a motion on the table. I guess I would say all those in favor. Say aye. All those opposed,
No.
motion passes. All right, next agenda item is sound systems.
Yeah, I talked to Butler, and he was gonna contact folks there, and so that's in process, so no update right now. I'm about to talk to Ken Bolt, the guy that came here and looked at it, so we'll see where that goes.
Do you think, should we keep, do you think you'd have something by?
I'll put it on the agenda when we have.
All right, so we'll take it off
Right,
the
right.
agenda until you
I
tell
don't
the
know.
girls, that'd be
It's
great,
gonna
thank you.
Well, in light of the previous conversation, does an RFQ or RFP have to go out for something like this? I only throw it out because we just had it.
Is there a money limit on RFPs or not? I mean, it has to be over or something.
I
don't know
actually
if there's
think it
any
wouldn't be
policy.
a bad idea, I mean, I think, to be honest, I think there's multiple small businesses that do this kind of work. That maybe could compete for it. I don't know,
Yeah, I just threw it out there.
yeah, no, I think it's a good point. All right, we're gonna move on to the next agenda item. Shaw Mansion. Thank you, Rebecca, for hanging in there. There's a neighborhood party on Shaw Mansion North. Hopefully. Well, y'all saw the application. You wanna just run us through it real quick?
My name is Rebecca Mead, Water Center. The hope is to have a neighborhood party for folks who live on the north end of Shaw Mansion Road, including Thurston Lane and Hoosier View, Hoosier Mountain. So it's approximately 50 residences in that area. This came about talking with a number of neighbors about the fact that we see each other, or walking dogs and whatnot. And we've got a fairly nice neighborhood, but we also know each other particularly well and in the current environment. We had a lot of conversation about trying to build that community. So The goal here is to provide an open opportunity for folks that live there to get to know one another. And have it in a common space in the middle of the neighborhood to make it as open and equal footing so people feel comfortable coming in and meeting the rest of the neighbors. The goal is to have it on June 14th, which is the Sunday. The reason I'm here, would like to have it in the road and close a couple hundred yards of Shaw Mansion Road adjacent to Thurston Lane. We would not block any residences, and all residences would be accessible either from Valley View or from Municipal. So the road would be closed from approximately 1 p.m. to about 9 p.m., including setup time and tear down time at the end. And we have a rain date established as the following Saturday, June 20th. We have spoken with fire chief, met with Gary at the location we're talking about, and discussed making sure that emergency vehicles could come through that space during the party time if there was a need. So we have a plan in place to make sure that we can do that. Very good. So then I'll just.
Questions?
Would you have someone at the barriers, if somebody was hoping to come through? Yeah,
You're gonna put signs up or something, right? You said?
Yes, we'll have signage
How
on
did that?
yeah, at the adjacent intersections to let people know before they turn onto the roads.
Yeah.
That there's a closure in the middle. And then also obviously at the specific area, we'll have signs up indicating that the road is closed.
it's just, I know, that in the past, the fire chief has, felt it's important to have an adult, stationed at the, road closure, because some people may come through, they may understand. They may have not gotten the word, and they have particular issues, just good to have somebody there to sort of deal with, individuals that may not totally grasp the situation.
We had not specifically discussed that. That, although that particular stretch is as flat as that road gets at any point, and you can see one side from the other. So everyone, all of the adults that work hard in that area would be able to interact directly with anyone on that.
Maybe just on your committee or something, have somebody assigned to one end and somebody else sort of just watching, you know. To doctor's appointment.
You can absolutely kind of swear that that's a. So the intention is to have the road fully open.
Oh, nice.
Very back.
Yeah, let's just stay here.
What did you go by law enforcement? What was that one? Perfect. Do you need a liquor license?
No, we did not.
Yes.
I
Not certain.
consulted with,
Okay,
to make sure that we did not.
right, thanks. Any questions from the board?
But it's not necessarily alcohol-free event.
Correct.
You're not serving it.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, it's-
People will be free to bring their
Yeah.
BYO.
which is why I wanted to implement it. Even in that scenario, we did not.
Thank you for the legwork put in here. Roger?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
This ambulance personnel as well, should
Oh,
let them know. Yeah, where the road will be closed.
Yeah.
And then we're not developing some sort of rivalry with South Shaw Mansion now, because you guys are having a party.
That was gonna be my next question.
Okay.
Was my mother-in-law invited because she walks the entire road, you
Yeah.
don't see her every.
And then there are people in the dip itself.
Yeah, where do they live?
Where they-
I think an invite, if I'm invited, I might vote.
My-
No, great.
Yeah, good for you. And for
Well, that's a legitimate question.
Distributing flyers to residents to the bottom of the disc. She lives in that area, she will receive a flyer.
That's where the dividing line is, bottom of the bit.
That was, there's a map.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how this neighborhood works.
Wow.
Discussion as to what made sense, so there's a natural,
Right.
division there based on where the residences are, so that's what we.
From that, from
My,
down
my sister asked, her house is on Loomis Hill that borders Shaw Mansion, but the driveway comes off Loomis Hill. She asked me if she was gonna get an invite, so I told her she was out because her driveway came off Loomis Hill.
This is intended to build community.
Looks like we have to get to you. All right, I think there's a motion, seconded, Kylie, you're all set over there?
Roger moved to approve, Sandy seconded, passed unanimously.
I don't.
I don't
voted
think we
yet.
voted yet.
You may be correct.
I said you did. Said you did.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
There you go.
There you go,
All
passed
right,
unanimously.
thank you.
We don't need to be here.
All right, the last one is this entertainment vendor ordinance. I thought Dario, but this is the last item.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know if we can tackle this, but
Well, I'm confused of who's doing what, this or where, because I know we decided not to worry about it for this summer. There was some timing issues that people want to get some of these things done. So it turned into kind of a long-term thing to
yeah, so,
modernize these policies, but I don't know
right,
who's responsible, who's doing what.
there's nobody responsible. This is a rainy day event from me, to be honest, when it rained that Wednesday. But Ariel and Cheryl had been working on a vendor ordinance, updating the vendor license ordinance from 1990 something.
Nice.
And, you had talked about we had had the entertainment ordinance, which is 1998. And there's very similar items in both. What does need to be separate is two different applications because of the criteria. So when I was looking at, what Cheryl and RW were doing and saw the commonality in the special events, I was like, why can't we just make this one? Threw this together, asked for input, and then put it on, and now it's here on this agenda for more input. Not, it's a discussion item really at this point. Because there are more steps, there's gonna need to be application forms. I really do think it would be helpful to have Ariel here.
She said she didn't want to be involved though. You don't even,
No, she said she would attend the meeting.
I don't think she wants to write, continue writing. it.
No, she doesn't want to continue writing it. She made some wonderful comments. Both Cheryl and
Right.
Ariel have done a tremendous job. And basically, quite honestly, this is primarily from their work. I literally copied and pasted what they put in here. Or what they had already done and asked them some questions about, I don't know the difference between why in some places it talks about food, beverage, and goods, and there was a discussion, sort of an email about. I don't understand, taking out goods or keeping goods in, I can't remember, and I don't know the difference why, so I don't think that there's anything to act on this tonight, because, other people need to have some input on it. But I just put it out there as a straw man to, rip apart. I mean, maybe the first question is there an appetite to put the two together? Would you rather keep the two ordinances separate and go through two separate processes? Yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure the 93 version, talking about vendors, was completely overwritten by the 98. So I think there is only technically one ordinance on the books right now.
I don't think so. There's a vendor ordinance that's
Oh,
nice,
no, the vendor.
Right.
and then there's an entertainment
The
ordinance.
carnival circus.
Roger,
I agree. I think that the ordinances that we've got could be replaced by a single ordinance. I also agree that having two separate permitting applications would make sense based on what I've read and seen. Part of what came up in the interim was that the vendors applying to set up on at the Thursday night concerts would be looking to get a seasonal permit. And right now we don't have a seasonal fee. So there was some back and forth as to whether that should be $175 or $150. I think we're in the right neighborhood. And I think if we were able to do a little bit further work on that, we could get to something that could be presented the Wednesday before the next meeting for our consideration.
thank you, Roger. I think the other thing that the other input that I heard was, that there needs to be process. And when is it required? And so I think if you wanna scroll up to the beginning, there's it's number 4. I think it's number 4, section 4.
Hey, we keeping you awake?
Sorry.
Mm.
No,
It's run out loud. So scroll down a little bit further. Insurance, it's below insurance, then there's the fees. Okay, so hold on, stop right there. So the fees, need to be, as Roger was pointed out. And it was appreciated to see Erica involved in that conversation. Our rec director had some thoughts about it. So that would be one thing that I would encourage you to think about. And then, I don't understand, Roger, no fee may be charged for a vendor license issued to sell agricultural products?
Because you can't,
What does that, what?
you can't, the state doesn't allow you to regulate. So,
And agricultural products is a defined term. Yeah,
I think so.
yeah, well, it's capitalized. But it's not really defined in here. And then,
The statute.
yeah.
It's sort of link.
The process down here is, then scroll down, and then there's a specific process so that it goes to the town manager, not the town clerk. And there was expressed concern that it should go to the town manager should know what's going on. And Woody doesn't have enough work.
Right. Pretty bored.
Well, yeah. Is the town manager allowed to delegate?
Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't go necessarily to the town clerk. Who pointed out that? So anyway, have at it. I mean, do you want to move, let me ask you this, do you want to continue to move in this direction? Do you want to stop and go back and look at each of the vendor license ordinance and the entertainment ordinance separate? And move them along on separate paths? Do you have a preference? They're just very outdated, and I know our zoning administrator is frustrated by her, and I would like to correct that for her.
They combine, makes sense.
I agree.
I have taken several months to went through this, but wasn't the right form to
Okay.
go wordsmithing.
Okay, definitely. Should we put this on the agenda for next meeting, or you wanna push it out further than that?
I don't, yeah. This is the time of year when these permits are in high demand. I don't really see that we wanna create more complications than we need to. I think we're very close to having something that is understandable and fair. So I would suggest we keep it on the agenda for the next meeting. And that, we designate a couple of people to, try to work out remaining issues.
You being one of them?
I'd be happy to.
I think Evan would be great.
Evan?
work with that.
That'd be great. But two of you.
If he can wordsmith.
I would encourage you to, refine the fee section.
Yeah. These are-
And I think Erica had a good idea. Erica's a good resource and you guys already talked about it.
So I haven't read this as careful as I should have.
Right.
So I can still do that and then send comments to
Okay.
Roger.
That sounds good.
That sounds great.
All right.
So there's no motion, just Roger, keep it on the agenda for the next meeting, designate a few people to work on it, Roger and Ed.
Yep.
Got it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
man, somebody hire her.
Yeah. Good. She probably had that like down 5 minutes ago.
Passed unanimously.
Yeah, Cheryl finds out.
Yeah.
All right. Any further discussion on that one? All right, moving on to the next meeting is June 2nd. We're gonna have, natural disaster preparedness through fire department. John Walter would like to talk about where we are with the natural disaster preparedness coordinator positions. I wonder if that shouldn't be posted on the website as a vacancy or a little bit more.
I reached out to Danny, who held the position,
Yeah,
and asked her, why she got done. And if she could explain to me the need for the position and other things involved with what the logic was, and she said she would send me an email outlining a lot of those things,
okay.
so.
Yeah, John, I think John wants to get action out of us.
Mhm.
So
So we can have it.
that would,
Yeah.
Push for us, yeah. Yeah, ask Dave if he cares.
yeah,
July 10th is coming up pretty soon.
Which is for Waterbury Arts Fest, not because there's gonna be a tropical storm.
all right. Anything,
Yeah, like we just got an email from Zach from the Waterbury ambulance, and he's prepared to come on June 2nd to go over the opioid.
good, that's back on here.
What's the deadline for that funding?
I don't know as there is a deadline per se, I would know from the other side. We just have to get it to them if they wanna try and get any more of the funding from the state.
Right.
Because it's going quickly as people are asking.
Yeah,
All right,
because I had a conversation with him, he said that, was working on a proposal to distribute the defibrillators. Because people would die of opioid overdoses, die of heart attacks, so it's.
all right, and we're gonna have the animal control officer, and we'll have Woodard Hill, and whatever else Woody comes up with.
Yeah, and we still have to reschedule the state police at some point. You have a date you wanted to reschedule them to, or?
What works for them.
I mean, we'll have the entertainment ordinance on here, right? Okay, so that would take some time. I mean,
Kathy Grace sent us that email a week or so ago. Kathy Grace sent a list of questions on behalf of everybody. So,
Yeah.
on behalf of the
I didn't see it.
study committee,
Yeah.
on the what?
on behalf of the town meeting study committee, she had a list of questions about policies regarding special articles. I was wondering if actually you responded to her yet.
I haven't seen the email.
Yeah, she did send it all of them.
Am I? on it?
Yeah.
What email?
I think, yeah, I know you were on there because I think you might have been first.
Here's the 14th.
What email did she send it to?
Oh, no, she spelled it wrong. It says Waterbury.
Well, then, yeah.
Pretty hard to get it then.
Well,
Can
you see it?
So what is,
Do you want to forward it back?
Yeah, or to,
what is, we're supposed to answer questions?
Yeah, it's come up a few times talking about town meeting day stuff with people have a lot of questions about special articles and how to get on the warning.
Why isn't she sending that to Rebecca?
Because she's wondering if there's a specific town policy about it.
Isn't it in statute?
Like, I'm pretty sure I know the answers to most of these
Yeah.
questions, but I wanna know
Okay.
more needs to discuss.
So there's no, as far as I remember, there's no written policy about, articles on town meeting. What the select boards, kind of, one select board passed along to another was that if an organization got a petition
Oh,
and asked for funding, and they got requisite signatures, they were put on the warning. And then the next year, if they wanted the same amount of money or incremental increase, they were automatically put on, like Leap a few years ago.
Yeah.
Duncan came to me and said, I think they get $2,500 a year. Duncan said, you know, and don't, if I don't get this right, Duncan, don't get mad. But, you know, he wanted to see if maybe they could up it to $5,000. And the conversation was, well, that's a pretty significant increase. The board was willing to continue the $2,500 thing on the warning, but if they wanted to go to 5,000, they were going to be asked to get a petition. So I don't think that's written as a town policy that this is the way it's going to go, but I believe select boards have kind of continually kept that same understanding in place.
so is that
You
your
wanna
question?
clarify that?
I was afraid, my question was, is this something the board needs to discuss, or should I answer her, because I'm pretty sure I know the answers to this question.
Yeah. That number one, is there a formal policy for nonprofit seeking support? I don't think there's a written formal policy.
Just a statute.
What I said.
What's the statute?
I don't have the citation off the top of my head, but basically anybody who gets the right number of signatures.
Right.
5%.
Why don't,
5%
here's a suggestion, why don't we let Evan answer these questions and send it so that we can see
Yeah.
before, you know, send the draft
Send, yeah.
answers to the
To us
board.
before you send them.
And then we can, yeah, we won't be taking action, but you draft up the answers for now.
Can tell you that she called a bunch of towns to find out what their policies were. And the only reason I know that is she called Stowe and talked to the assistant town manager and he said something about me being a select board member. So he transferred her to me. And she said, were you aware that Stowe requires every single year you have to apply for it? And you can't, it's not an automatic thing. She said, are you aware of that? And I said, well, I did know that. And she said, why, how come they don't do that in Waterbury? No, but I did say to her, you know, if you wanna talk about this, you should, you know, ask to be added to the agenda and come in and speak about it and ask these questions and.
Well, I would say that's what the study
Well,
committee is
she's on
doing.
it.
Right,
Right.
she said that
That's
she
what I
was,
said, has she
but-
gone to Rebecca?
but she said that she was assigned to look into this.
Okay.
She's doing
all right.
fact fund.
Okay, okay. So we agreed, Evan's gonna draft up the answers and share it before it goes back.
I can do that.
Right.
Do you want to just let her know that that's happening?
Well, I gotta get the email first.
Yeah, me too.
Did you send it?
Or,
Okay.
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 Forward there.
I think you're.
I have it.
You know, maybe I have it. I lost it.
That's right.
All right, and,
Can I say one thing about handling phone officers?
no,
Okay.
no, so you can if you want.
Well, I'm the health officer currently.
I am,
My term expires
July.
in July. I've been either the health officer or the deputy health officer since 1988, and I don't want to do it any
Okay.
longer. And the reason I'm only saying that now is because the health officer's duties are much narrower than they used to be. There's almost no rental housing inspections anymore. Pretty much the only thing that I do right now is respond to dog bites. The animal control officer is the one who deals with dog. the health officer is the one who deals with the person who gets bitten. I don't think there's any reason why it can't be the same person. And
Is she gonna come in?
you know, what I would do when we had an animal control officer is if I'm able to contact, and it's harder and harder now to contact people whose dog has bitten someone, because if they see a phone number that they don't know, they don't answer the phone, and they're telling, hey, this is the health officer, I'm calling about the dog bite, and they never call me back, and, you know, so it's harder and harder to get the information. But when I would get information that, oh, is your dog licensed? Oh, no, it isn't. Do you have a rabies certificate? Yes, I do. And that's all the health officer is concerned about is the dog vaccinated for rabies, so you can tell the person who is bitten, you're okay. But if they're not licensed, I would forward that information to the animal control officer when we have it. So I'm just suggesting that maybe when we talk to the animal control officer, I'd be happy to talk to whoever's applying about what's necessary for health officer stuff, but
Okay,
it might be helpful just to have one person doing it
we'll see
all.
how that goes.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Bill. Any else? Can we get a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn the meeting tonight.
I'll second.
What time-
All
what
those,
time
in
is it?
any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
8:52. We're adjourned.